G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is the Fixer. This is the combat rifle, but with a green stock, magazine, and handguard. It's a fan favorite because it does a little bit more damage than your regular old combat rifle and handmade rifle, so it's the best in the game because it's going to make us most efficient. But how does it work in Fallout 4? It'll probably be a lot better than its Fallout 76 self, because already we've got an automatic 308 receiver on this, which is a lot better than what you can get out of a standard combat rifle, and the damage here is going to be different. Very different. So this is just the standard combat rifle that I've got just for reference here. So this is the powerful auto receiver, and doing 139 versus 203, and this one has a combat scope. It's a see-through scope and a 308 receiver. I don't even think there's a 308 conversion for combat rifles in Fallout 76, but that was a thing back in 4. So yep, another point in Fallout 4's corner there. If we go ahead and chuck on the same receiver here, we get 215 versus 264. Alright, got it. Not going to go over the attachments because they're just the same as a combat rifle, but the only thing that's different is you can switch between paints. It spawns in with like a standard paint on it, but once you attach any of these custom paints, then you can't go back to normal. So what you need to do to get this weapon is buy it from Tinker Tom. Now, I had to use console commands here because, well, the railroad no longer exists, so I'm shit out of luck, but that's okay, I've got console commands. Also, funnily enough, there's about 3 other unique weapons that you can find in here, because I've got a bunch of weapon mods installed. Classic. Maybe they should just add a Fixer world drop here, so after you've killed the railroad, you can still get it. And apparently that's stealing. How can I steal from someone who is dead? It's not like Tinker Tom will be ever using this again. Alrighty, so here we are outside of the immersive Gunners Plaza in the daytime, so we're not going to get that super secret stealth bonus out of the Fixer. This one's got a see-through 4x scope instead of the standard one, so I don't know, I think it looks cool. I like the little glowing red chevron on the end here. And this is the standard one that we saw earlier in first person. They might look a little bit different other than the scope on this one because I've got the FOV tuned up, so you get to see slightly more of the gun. And who better to use the Fixer than someone who's a veteran of Fallout 76 and used the Fixer for a long time? That's right, it's Iris, the child of Adam, and we're stuck with this crazy broad. No Winters today. This is Winter's day off, and let's get started, I guess. We'll get started by sniping at these guys a little bit. This probably won't last super long, and the range on this weapon isn't going to allow me to get the best damage as I go, but we'll give it a shot. We'll give it several shots. Now, you might be wondering why I'm not using any legendary effects, because that's kind of the staple of a Fixer in Fallout 76 to have a good set of legendary effects. And look, I don't need legendary effects. I've got some already. The first star is multiplicative damage calculations. We're being heavily penalized for range here. Alright, so the zone's going to be hot here, so I'm going to go around and fight something else because I don't want to be shot at by 50 gunners simultaneously. Get out of here, Mantis. You too, Bloodbug. Get out of here. And, okay, so multiplicative damage calculations, that's our first star. That allows us to do a lot more damage as we actually invest into the weapon. And maybe we'll get Tactical out. Hello? Mate, you here? Alright, no Tactical today. And, yes, the second legendary effect is fire rate, because compared to the Fallout 76 version of a Fixer, this thing has a much greater fire rate. Observe. You also notice how we've got a 40-round magazine as compared to the highest you can get out of, like, what, 25 in Fallout 76? So, technically, this is 3-star. It's powerful than most of the Fixers will ever get in-game in Fallout 76. And we're going to do the door breach nice and early here. And looks like we'll be taking on the gunners from the nice high ground advantage. Come on. Failing a novice lock so easily today. And we've got a couple of cloakers in here. Can you believe it? But a big round of hip firing there seems to clean up most of them. Steady hands there, does a good job. There's a couple of things that the Fallout 76 version does better. You can tune it to have very good hip fire if you use the true barrel and true stock, but honestly, it's good enough. I think the rate of fire and the exceptional ammo capacity, everything else sort of makes it better in general. I mean, it's got the stats where it matters. And we're back into caution, so we'll get into a little bit of stealth command doing in a second here. Actually, we weren't. We will, actually. We're in caution, somehow. Because we're in the shadows, mate. We're in a Rage of the Shadow Warriors Republic Commando memes. Well, that worked pretty well. And now, we get the high ground against all these chumps, which Irons tend to use to great effect. And let's switch over to... Sorry, just checking the time there. We'll switch over to this, the semi-auto version. And can we actually... I guess you can't, oh my god, there's a lot of gunners. Well, time for some gun foo, I guess. 1, 2, 3. That's you dead. And 1, 2, 3. And that's it. We'll throw some criticals in the mix. Why not? He'll be done for in a second. That fella's got an MG, so he needs to go down. Hey, there's a cheeky little level up there, so we'll be right. There's a sniper knockdown courtesy of the scope. Very useful. And the correct bullet flying out of there. We actually got 2 damage numbers from that shot. That's weird. I don't know why we got that much. Anyways, that is a little bit hot right now, so we'll go and shoot at this guy instead. Mind the screen shake from the grenades being thrown at us. That sucks. And more. Gunners being thrown around like ragdolls. Hey, I see you there, mate. You need to go away. Keep these crits coming. Actually, never mind. We'll leave it. There we go. It's getting a little bit chilly here. Alright, I think the better way here is to just... Okay, now I can't see anything. See, the gunners in these numbers mean business. And apparently, they're trying to cool me down and heat me up. Because they're throwing Molotovs and things at the same time. Molotovs and cryo grenades. Institute technology, mind you. That's Nerd Rage, too. So, we'll get to using that right now. Oh, that's nice. And actually, I'm going to take a couple of headshots at you because you're taking sufficient cover behind a tree. And I don't want to get dead. Or do I? You know what? We'll do a cheeky little refreshing beverage or several. And then, we'll get to shooting them. Like, it's not the most powerful weapon I've ever used as a mod thing. I think it's kind of lame compared to a lot of weapons that I've used. But for comparison's sake, it's interesting enough that way. So we'll go ahead and point blank these guys. Spam 308s in their face until they drop. Should mention that I am playing on very hard difficulty. So that's why I've got a 50% damage multiplier. I mean, penalty. But we're done here, so we'll head inside and do this properly, right? Righto, we're on the inside now, and I think it's worth mentioning that with classic holstered weapons, you wear the weapon when you don't have it equipped, which Fallout 76 couldn't possibly understand. So that's another cool thing that Fallout 4 does better, because mods, the possibilities are endless, except for making Fallout 76 a good game. I just got flashbanged! Iris, recover. You're gonna get punched. You okay? I didn't think that enemies could spawn with that. They did it again. Okay, we avoided that by going into VATS. That's how you defeat flashbangs. You just go into VATS. Remember that next time you're going to get shot at. So, we've blown the stealth. Actually, stealth is a lot harder to do in Fallout 4 compared to 76. Like, stealth is so easy that it's brain dead in 76. Maybe it's because we tune our agility all the way up with unyielding gear, but it's so bloody easy just to stay hidden all the time. But a little bit different here. Also, the lighting conditions are a little bit unfavorable. If I wanted to actually super sneak and do it all proper like, I would wait until night to do it. There's a cheeky legendary gunner there. There he goes down. And we got detected because those explosions cast light, which aggroes everything to us. Don't worry, we'll get to proper sneaking with the fixer soon, but not now. Also, I'm not fond of this combat scope anymore. The visual recoil makes it too hard to get follow-up shots very quickly, so we won't be using it any further. And you're dead. You're dead. What else we got? Bit of plasma fire. Not really that much of an issue. I'm gonna bash you to death. Bashing sucks. Except sometimes when you get critical strikes, but yeah, not really impressed with it with bashing. I don't know if they tuned the bashing damage down a lot so it further suits its 76 self, or rather that's just a coincidence that it just sort of sucks. But there's some neat sneak criticals. That's nice. Also, I'd like to point out that it was raining outside just before, but now it's gone away since I went inside. That's cool. I've got to be careful with adding weapons like this into Fallout 76 because some bugs might slip over. Anyways, that was it for Gunner's Plaza. Did it so flawlessly stealthily that we didn't have any problems there at all. Alright, so we're going over to Swan's place once again. He's taking on a bunch of Rust Devils right now, so we'll try to pick those blokes off. We won't get sneak criticals on them because we simply cannot, because they're aggroed by Swan. He's got a couple of other ones to kill, but once he's gone through all of them, we'll give him a hand just so he gets through that a little bit quicker. Then we can begin. So right now it's 12 at midnight. It just started raining, so our stealth should be flawless. And look at the power now. The power of Fallout 4 Stealth Commando and fixering. Yes, that works pretty well. And one more mag should do him in. So what? About 120 bullets and this guy's dead. They are 308 bullets. We get 75 back. Well, that's okay. And a bunch of caps, which we could potentially use to buy more if we so needed them. But we don't. Wasn't that fun, Swan? Was it? Okay, no response. I guess we're going to keep having this terrible weather, and we're going to kill this Wendigo man. And we get sniper knockdowns on him. And we could probably do so frequently, so we'll try to keep getting that to happen. And knockdown, please. There we go. Very helpful. Unnecessary reload there. You can tell that I used the combat rifles a lot more in 76 because I expected a reload to be needed there. Didn't have to go that way though. And there's actually a couple of bugs here. Let's eliminate some bugs. Do what Fallout 76 should do, right? Die, bugs, die. You get eliminated in that. Little mantis, little bastard. He's hard to hit, this one. Let's go point blank range and give him the old hipfire treatment. Yes, take that. Now there was like a mosquito thing. Did he die? I don't think I killed him. They're guerrilla warfare experts. Also, I activated the Pip-Boy right on a lightning strike. Cool. You don't see that every day. Unless you try, then you could probably see it every day. Alright, one more monster and I think we'll call it a video. Okay, so you might notice that my health bar is looking a little bit irradiated. Yes, that is definitely the case. And I have stats that look like that. We're wearing full unyielding armor and unyielding? Did I say unyielding? Yes. And we're doing 1,000 damage per shot with a fixer. And unyielding armor is just in the form of just combat armor, just light stuff, and it's shattered. So if we get into nerd rage, then we'll just get started on this queen, which is currently being aggroed by the other things. So unfortunately we'll miss out on a lot of this sweet damage. Just me pick off this little bastard so we can get this damage properly going. There we go. There we go. Completely unnecessarily powerful, but oof. And that intelligence buff just gave us 7,200 XP for killing that thing. So isn't that nice? And I think we'll call it that because I've got that bit out of my system, and I think we've got it out of your system as well. Just in case everyone was yelling at me that you said, saying to me that you should use Bloodied and Unyielding just like you would with Fallout 4. Well, I just did. You saw the results. Bloodied is strong, like multipliers. We're talking multipliers here. Really, really strong stuff. Also, according to wet effects, radstorms are wet. Maybe they're like humid and it's just sweat. It's not very pleasant. But don't worry. Iris is a child of Adam. She loves radiation, so she'll be just fine. She's soaking it up nicely. So that there was a fixer, and the conclusion is, although this is a really well made mod, and it does exactly what it needs to do and what it's supposed to do, even adds a little bit of a auto 308 receiver just so you can get a little bit more punch out of your combat rifles. It's a well-made mod, but the problem is, it's boring. And that's kind of because I've used this thing so much in Fallout 76, and it's just a combat rifle with a different paint job. So, however boring it may be, it's still functionally very good and well-made, and it's a good job. But I just find it boring. That's just my personal taste, but I can recommend this thing by saying it's good. If you like the fixer in Fallout 76, you can bring it to Fallout 4 and it'll be a whole lot better. So if you are, having Fallout 76 withdrawals, which would imply you're addicted to it, you can bring 76 into Fallout 4 for some fun. So this is just a little bit of a one-off experiment. There's actually a couple of other things. I think there's a plasma rifle that is inspired by the Fallout 76 Enclave variant, so that's cool. And we got, we'll get this, powered metal right arm light. That's pretty good. That's a good drop. And I think on that note, we'll call it a video there. Thank you very much for watching, guys.